You're fired. 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 Let's go.
Hello, Mr. Trump. It's an honor to meet you. I was wondering what you would say to President Obama.
You're fired.
This academic video essay will explore characters being fired or experiencing the threat of being fired and the emotional turmoil surrounding this. The purpose of this essay is to explore the portrayal of these characters and their reactions and coping mechanisms when faced with the prospect of redundancy. It will also comment on the potential viewer reaction to the prospect of unemployment. You are fired. 3 words that nobody, no matter how much you hate your job, want to actually hear. Unfortunately, it is a reality in the workplace with redundancies occurring all over the world. This particular scenario has been explored and shown in various mediums, in particular TV shows and movies. This video essay will explore not just the actual firing of a character, but the struggle after being made redundant. From reading Displacement-Induced Joblessness, when a worker is fired, certain tendencies can be seen from a lot of those jobless workers. Obviously everyone is different, and so is their reaction to such a devastating loss. But as studies show, workers fall into a certain level of depression. Having a profession provides sustainable income, variety in their day-to-day life, social interactions, and an overall personal identity. This all depends on the profession, so this essay will focus on employment in the administrative field. According to Christopher J. Room, employment provides a personal identity card. Room furthers the statement by claiming a person in a middle class or a higher class society are defined by many things, including their job. Society views people with a job as responsible, secure, and a well-functioning contributor to society. Someone without employment is without purpose and looked down upon. This negative and dismissive view causes people to have a certain level of desperation, with many seeking work the very next day. If that person is unsuccessful, they may fall into alcoholism, drug addiction, or in some cases suicide. Dark, I know. Well, this essay will focus on how television shows depict this level of hopelessness and desperation to get their previous stable profession back. One thing we found in common with these scenes, characters lose a sense of pride and dignity by begging for their job back to their employers. The first firing example we are going to focus on is from The Office, created by and starring Ricky Gervais, with the first episode premiering on BBC in 2001. This show is a mockumentary sitcom based on a middle-aged manager of a nondescript paper company. David Brent does not realize his employees despise him and find him irritating for always seeking friendship in his workers. Brent's obliviousness to his surroundings and his incessant desire to be loved leads to a similar frustration in the viewing audience. In Season 2, in an episode titled Charity, The Office is having their annual comic relief fundraiser. The mood of this episode is comical until it meets a dramatic halt with Brent being called into a meeting with Jennifer and Neil, 2 managers of the paper company. Jennifer informs Brent he is being made redundant. Brent initially shrugs off the life-altering news and walks out of his office. This leads to the next episode, Interview, where Brent begs for his job back from Neil.
It's good timing, isn't it? Telling me that today, the day of laughter. Brilliant. That's that ruined, isn't it? That's what I was... Now, we wondered if you wanted to come back for a party on the Friday or leave on the Friday before. Whatever. Okay, well, again, thanks very much, David. Don't make me redundant. Please. Look, David. I've changed my mind. I don't want redundancy. I don't want that. I haven't signed anything, so...
David Brent holds on to his employer's hand and simply begs, "Don't make me redundant." This appeal leads to Brent tearing up and claiming he'll turn his life and business around. Certain filming techniques emphasize the desperation of Brent and his loss of dignity. For one, the medium shot framing of Brent, causing viewers to focus on his dejected facial expressions, leading to a close-up of both Jennifer and Neil's shocked and uncomfortable expressions after Brent starts to cry. The makeup, costumes, lighting, and interior are the same in this scene as all of The Office. Gervais stated in a GQ article this style was purposely chosen to emphasize the characters and their emotions. The conclusion of this scene is Brent crying and putting his head down on his desk. Crying is a clear sign of weakness because it holds connotations of being overcome with emotion and losing any sense of self-control. All of these techniques and features reveal Brent to be a very weak character who has lost all sense of dignity by begging and crying over his job loss. Fictional firings turn to real-life experiences, as this video essay focuses attention on reality TV. While watching comedic TV shows like The Office, viewers, despite being aware of the sad nature of Brent being fired, to some degree overlook it as a setting of a fictional comedy series. Though efforts are made to create a realistic atmosphere, viewers will still separate it in their minds and remember the more comical aspects of Brent as a character. However, a reality TV show like The Apprentice can draw in more genuine and on-the-spot reactions from dealing with a firing. The Apprentice originated in the United States in 2004 with billionaire Donald Trump at the head. For this essay we will focus on the UK edition, which first aired in 2005 after the success of the US series. The Apprentice is a reality game show where groups of aspiring entrepreneurs compete against each other through different business and marketing challenges in order to win a $100,000 a year contract with Lord Alan Sugar, a billionaire as of 2015, in order to help launch the start of their own business. The candidates are divided up into teams and are given tasks involving all the key elements of creating a business. They come back at the end of each episode. Each task is reviewed by Lord Sugar. They get a result, a task review overall, and feedback where teams can argue for their case. After consideration, Lord Sugar then points at whichever candidate he deems unworthy of pursuing, points his finger at them, followed by proclaiming, "You're fired." He can choose as many candidates at any time to fire as he deems reasonable to do in the boardroom. The cutthroat firings leave an impressionable effect on the viewers, but more notably the candidates themselves. They do a brief interview prior to their departure to reflect on the journey and if they think it was fairly conducted, where it reflects the true damaging nature getting fired can have on a person. Something that is very notable about The Apprentice is how in the lead up to Lord Sugar making his decision, how the candidates present themselves when in a situation where they know their job is at risk. They begin to employ defense mechanisms, and while some can get assertive, others can get aggressive when their work ethic is questioned. In one particular episode, viewers see candidate Saeed Ahmed getting extremely defensive when Lord Sugar is questioning certain elements of the task Saeed carried out. In a position where Saeed knows he could be fired, he starts cutting across to get his point through and begins making excuses for himself. This is a common characteristic for people under that anxiety to exhibit. He quickly begins to say, "The whole competition has been a massive learning curve for me," once he senses the shock among Lord Sugar and his panel, who have the ultimate decision on Saeed's job position. Lord Sugar even comments on Saeed's defensiveness after his previous arrogant persona.
I make mistakes, yes, absolutely, and that was a mistake. It's an environment that I've been in.
Well, that's an improvement.
Before.
That's an improvement for you. It's the first time in the past 9 weeks I've heard you say you make mistakes.
Well, if I don't know the answer, I'm not going to blag it. It's as simple as that. I'm going to ask.
Oh, you've learned over the last few weeks.
Really? Really?
I'm
You've
learning
changed
every day. You know, the whole competition has been a massive learning curve for me.
But you also still need the man with the brush and shovel coming along behind by all
Well,
accounts.
whoever, if I sold 345
I hear you were
units now.
panicking. You were shitting yourself.
I weren't
son.
panicking, not
You
at
was
all.
panicking, son. You start off like a bull in a china shop, all cocky, and suddenly the reality hits home.
In the show, we can also see how candidates react to the unfortunate outcome of being fired as the show films them in the taxi home. Unlike Brent's reaction in The Office, who appeared emotionally unstable and inconsolable, Rebecca demonstrates differently. In this clip, Rebecca shows how people easily try shift the blame when they think they are fired under unfair circumstances. As she says, "Other people in the process have done less than me, they just happen to be on winning sides." A lot of people who find themselves in these hard circumstances do not want to admit when they are wrong, or find it hard to take constructive criticism, hence use other people as an outlet for their frustration. Overall, this video shows how people react to the sometimes unpredictable, or in other cases expected termination of their jobs. TV is a great medium to express these true-life experiences unfortunately felt by many people across the world. While some people try to appear unfazed by it like Rebecca in The Apprentice, others like Brent in The Office can become visibly and mentally devastated. Hence it shows how the act of firing someone can truly cause the loss of a person's dignity, confidence, and motivation, and in turn viewers of these shows can often be led to appreciate the security of their job if they are lucky enough to have one.